The moment you stepped on the field your rookie season, the only knock was you turn the ball over a lot. You were able to overcome it. Early in this year, turn the ball over a lot. We're still able to overcome it. But the last, 8 to 10 games of the year, you cut that out of your game almost entirely. How were you able to so quickly fix what was the one weakness in your game at that point?
Really just the mentality I was going into a game. You know, when I was going into the game, especially, my rookie year, the first half of the year, I was still kind of, trusting my ability and just kind of trying to, make the big plays and instead of letting the big plays happen. So, after the bye week, when I changed my game and I was just taking what the defense was giving me, it was giving us a better chance to win those games and being able to, put more points on the board.
Deshaun, Cris Carter here. Great to talk to you again. Man, you got hit an awful lot last season, 62 sacks. What are you and Bill O'Brien in discussing moving forward? Because you talked about areas to improve in. How are they going to protect you better moving forward? And what have you learned in your first couple seasons that might be able to bring that number down in the future?
Being able to get the ball out a little bit quicker, and then kind of communicating with the O-line, making sure we're on the same page, kind of understanding what the defense is doing pre-snap, so I can know where to get the ball out whenever, pressure do come, or, an O-lineman miss a block or something like that, and try to get the ball to the receivers, quick as possible. We watch Brady all the time, and, he don't really get sacked too much because he already know where he's going with the ball, so the ball's out. So, just taking my game to another level with the knowledge and helping the whole offense out, that way.
Deshaun, you had that great stretch during the season where we kept coming in here on Monday talking about your win and a win and a win and a win, and it was week after week. Then you won the AFC South. It was a good time for you guys, but what has to happen for your team to take the next step moving forward now?
Of course, health. You got to have that health, but also just kind of, once we get to that opportunity in the playoffs again, we got to really, take it, to another level. As far as the training, preparation, everything, we just got to take it to another level because it's a whole new season, and everyone is for their own self. So once we get in the opportunity into that, the playoff, time, we just got to make sure that we take another step and train a little bit harder.
You have one of the opportunities as a young quarterback to throw to one of my favorite receivers in the league. And not only just because of his hand size, his catch radius, but I just believe our careers had a lot of things in similar. Early in his career, played with a lot of different quarterbacks, really didn't get a lot of notoriety. Now he gets the superstar. You tell me in America why DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
I mean, the things he do, the knowledge of the game, the catches he make is crazy. It's very, very crazy. It doesn't surprise me because he do it all the time in practice. He do it all the time when we're training in the off season. So it's kind of normal to him and normal to me. But, he loves the hard catches. For some reason, the easy catches, he don't really, catch too well. But if it's, all over the place, then he's going to, snag it. So, he doing great things, and I feel like he can take his game to another level. He know that too.
The Texans, I think most people believe, have 3 superstars. We're talking to one of them. We just talked about one of them. Now let's go to the other side of the ball, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt had established himself as a superstar, I think, right around the time you got to Clemson. And then, at least for my purposes, I was worried that we would never see that version of J.J. Watt again after a couple seasons lost to injury. How impressed were you with his ability to get back to being the old J.J. Watt this year? And can you tell us something we might not know about him, about what he puts into his day to be the player that he is?
I've watched JJ. We both were hurt last year, and so I had a whole off season to be able to watch him train and get back, to his peak where he was this year. And just the things he do. It's full 4 days from eating, a certain way, working out in a certain way, getting massages, treatment, with a trainer, physical therapist, everything. The way he, carries himself, watch film, and he was just determined to make sure that, regardless of what people are saying, that they'll never see him on the field again and never be where he was before. He was determined to prove people wrong, and that's what he did. And it's spectacular. It gave me a lot of motivation to be able to do the same thing, as I progress in my career.
Speaking of proving people wrong, we've been talking all season and now all week about Tom Brady. You were 6 years old, Deshaun, when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl. All those things you say that J.J. Watt put into his game, we hear so much about how much Tom Brady puts into his body and his preparation, the stuff he eats, the way he trains. How surprised are you that he's still playing at this high of a level at this point in his career?
I'm not surprised at all. You know, Coach O'Brien coached him for a couple years, and so we have a lot of guys that is playing on our team, you know, play at the Patriots, or a lot of coaches that play with Tom Brady. And the things that they tell me, you know, especially Wes Welker, you know, I meet with Wes Welker every week, and the things we talk about with Tom, you know, the way he carries himself, the way he put things in his body, the way he prepare mentally is spectacular. So I'm trying to take every little nugget that they, you know, seen Tom do, you know, and apply to my game and my career, and try to, you know, find some type of formula where I can be able to do the same thing. You know, hopefully I can play till I'm 40, you know, God willing, but you know, every little thing that he's doing, I'm trying to, you know, put in my game also.
Deshaun, you're in a very unique time in NFL history. Not only do we have the GOAT and Tom Brady playing at the Super Bowl level, we have Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and a number of others, Ben Roethlisberger, guys playing at a high level. But also, we have a group of young quarterbacks under 25 that I would believe will have the same type of career. You're giving advice to Jared Goff going to Super Bowl 53. You faced this defense and the Pats twice. What advice are you giving him that he's able to go out there and dictate this win for the Rams to pull off the upset?
I think really two or three things is, you know, protect the ball. When you're in the red zone, score points. Don't kick field goals, score points. And really the third thing, just, you know, play free, play confident, you know, because they're going to try to take you out of the game early, try to confuse you. But if you just stick to your P's and Q's and do everything that you know, prepped for all week, you'll be just fine. But protecting the ball, scoring touchdowns, have to score touchdowns, and then just, you know, being who you are.
All right, let's talk about the Patriots a little bit. You played them your rookie season. You led the Texans to what looked like a great win. I think that game was in Gillette, if I'm remembering correctly. And then Tom Brady drove down the field, as he so often does. I'm not sure if that was actually a catch at the front of the end zone by Brandon Cooks, but the referees missed it, and you guys end up losing. But your guys' offense was able to move the ball. You played them the first game of this year is a different story. What are the types of things we hear all the time, and we saw what they did to Pat Mahomes in the first half last week, that the Patriots try to confuse you, that they don't let you know defensively what type of coverage you're going to see? What are the types of things they do differently from a front-end coverage perspective or from a pre-snap cover perspective that can be difficult on the quarterback of the opposing team?
Honestly, I think, you know, especially for me and probably even Pat also, you know, you watch the first games that me and Patrick Mahomes played against the Patriots, you know, they were kind of, I wouldn't say basic, but you can tell what they were doing. So you can kind of, you know, just, you know, pick where you want to go with the ball. But the second time, you know, the defensive line contain you, try to keep you in the pocket. They disguise a little bit longer, and the coverage is a little bit more tighter. And, you know, they don't do the same thing that they did in the previous game. So it makes the game a lot more harder. And, you know, both games, like we, you know, started off, you know, slow, and then the second half he caught fire. Same with ours. You know, we lost by 7. You know, in the second half we kind of, you know, caught fire with the run game and, you know, the quick pass game, and, you know, it came down to a Hail Mary. So, I mean, they do a good job of switching up what they do. It's never the same, and I mean, they're very, very disciplined.
Deshaun, enough with pro football. Let's get a little bit, because I know, man, you are proud of your Clemson Tigers. Man, you brag how Dabo Swinney went relationship, that connective tissue that both of you have there with the Clemson Tiger allegiance growing strong now in college football.
I mean, they're up there with Alabama. You know, year in, year out, they're going to have the best athletes. They're going to have the great people. They're going to have a coaching staff that's going to, you know, make sure that their players are ready to go. You know, it's pretty much a dynasty now. And, you know, we don't, you know, once I got to Clemson, you know, when I was a freshman, it was more just trying to win the ACC. But now it's, you know, either national championship or it was a, you know, terrible year. And, you know, Coach Swinney is a guy where, he relates to all the players. He relates to the players' parents, the families, and the thing that he give off is he want the good in all the players. He want the players to be able to be good citizens, good students, and then good football players. You know, football don't really come first once you go to Clemson. It comes like third on the back end. So, you know, being a good student, getting a degree, and then being a good citizen off the field, that's what they care about. So a lot of people relate to that.
Deshaun, obviously Clemson had a lot of great players before you got there and had some success. And now Dabo, they are one of the two most prominent programs in college football, and Dabo Swinney is the face of that program. But how much pride do you take personally that when people look at Clemson football now, it started with 2 unbelievable games by you? I know there's other guys. I know it was a team effort. But when you look at what they've done since you left, how much pride do you take in what you were able to do in those 2 national championship games to put them in that position?
I take a lot of pride in it. That's one reason why I went to Clemson, is because back when, you know, they were recruiting me my sophomore year in high school, you know, Coach Swinney said, hey, you're going to be the quarterback to change this whole program. You're going to make sure that you're going to set the tone and make us a dynasty. And that's what I fell in love with. You know, he was honest with me, and that's what I wanted in myself. And so that's the reason why I went to Clemson, and those opportunities came up, those 2 national championships, and I took advantage of it. And now, you know, they just, you know, continue to go to the playoffs and have opportunity to win it. So I take a lot of pride in that, and you know, I'm very proud that, you know, I was able to do that. And you know, it's Coach Swinney. I really respect him and appreciate him, because everything he told me in the recruiting process, it came true. And you know, I really love it.
All right, Deshaun, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about your partnership with Old Spice.
Yeah, I'm partnered with Old Spice, the all-new Fresher collection. You know, women